I would kindly request our respected Principal Dr. S.P. Bari sir to felicitate Mr. Ashish Budada sir. I would kindly request our respected Principal Dr. S.P. Bari sir to felicitate Dr. Swapnil sir. Thank you, sir. We are privileged to have with us Mr. Ashish Budada, sir, CEO of Atal Community Innovation Center, ACIC, Sveri, Pandharpur. Sir is an entrepreneur, ecosystem builder, and a startup mentor with more than 25 years of experience across healthcare, startups, and innovation. He began his professional journey in the United States in the biomedical engineering, working in the biotech and medical device industry, before returning to India to build an impactful venture. He is the co-founder of Health Matra, a home healthcare startup that expanded across multiple states. He also founded Make My Garden successfully, building a strong customer base and creating innovative business models in the urban gardening space. Currently, as the CEO of ACIC, he is actively working towards building community-driven innovations, ecosystems, supporting startups, rural entrepreneurs, and grassroots innovators. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Ashish Budada sir to guide us with his valuable insights.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you guys have had lunch. No? यार भूखे शेरों को बिठा दिया मेरे सामने हाँ okay okay don't worry guys, I'm going to give you some food for thought for sure. How many are from HR Patel Pharmacy College here? RC Patel? Okay. Which year? First year? Second year? Second year? All are PG students. Okay, wonderful. And everyone understands Marathi also? Yes. Anybody who does not understand Marathi? No. ठीक है. Because my background is from Solapur, let me start with a story in Marathi. I spent last 16 years in Bangalore. तर ही स्टोरी बँगलोरच्या 4 IT इंजिनियर बद्दल आहे. So they want to celebrate a long weekend and 4 engineers निघतात गाडी घेऊन for a long drive. नहीं, I think this is. So they go on a long drive. आणि असं ते उत्तराखंडमध्ये चालले असतात हिली एरियामध्ये आणि गाडी पंक्चर होते. गाडी पंक्चर होते ते इंजिनियर आहे काढतात स्टेपनी राईट एक टायर काढतात बाजूला ठेवतात स्टेपनी लावतात आणि मग रिअलाइज करतात ते जे 4 नट्स काढले होते टायर काढताना ते टायर सरकवताना खाली पडून जातात. कार वॉज ऑन अ ब्रिज ओव्हर अ कॅनल खाली म्हणजे ते नट्स गेले कॅनल मध्ये वाहून गेले राईट. इट्स इव्हनिंग टाइम लेट होत आहे मिडल ऑफ द हिल्स. त्यांच्याकडे नो गुगल नो चॅट जीपीटी नो फोन कॉल वर्किंग आणि नियरेस्ट सिटी और टाउन इज 15 किलोमीटर्स आहे. आता बिग प्रॉब्लेम करणार काय. देन देर इज अ विलेज बॉय राईट इज पासिंग. तो विचारतो काय प्रॉब्लेम आहे. तो बघतो असं तसं मग तो थोडंसं गाडीच्या आजूबाजू जातो. उसमें क्या ये IT इंजीनियर्स उनका ईगो हर्ट हो जाता है. ये छोटा सा बच्चा बोल रहा है उसमें क्या राइट. बोले ये सिंपल सोल्यूशन है. आपके 3 टायर तो अच्छे है ना. हाँ सगळ्यांचे एक नट काढून घ्या चौथ्या टायरला लावा, 15 किलोमीटर तर गाडी आरामात चालेल 3 तासावर, राईट? Simple solution. So this was an innovative solution that the village boy could also think of, right? So the point of this story is when we talk about innovation, innovation is not necessarily just some super hi-fi drug discovery. Innovation can also mean easing the things of everyday life, improving the way of healthcare delivery. Right? So today we'll talk, spend a little time on innovation. Let me ask you, we are all, M.Pharm, PG students. How many of you think because, you're pharma students, pharma job in pharmaceutical company is your career option or the only career option? Right? No. Okay, how many of you want to build something of your own someday? Anybody? Please raise your hands. Build something on your own or create an impact. Right? Keep your hands raised. Let others also see. Right? All right. So remember, pharma is just an entry ticket. Right? The options are many. When you talk about healthcare, there are so many things. Healthcare, clinical research, home healthcare, rural healthcare, digital tech, wellness. The options are limitless, and others also. If I want to give you my own example, I did masters in biomedical engineering. My first startup was in healthcare. It was respiratory care equipment, like oxygen concentrators to ventilators, providing to home care patients. But second startup, after selling that, second startup was in completely different field, gardening. Right? Make My Garden, where we were doing garden landscaping, garden setup and maintenance. So people used to ask, why such a drastic change from healthcare to gardening? And I used to tell them, see, earlier I used to pack oxygen. Now we produce oxygen, right? Just backward integration, right? So if the opportunity is there, it can take you anywhere. Now, since innovation is the main topic, let's talk about innovation. As I said, innovation can be in different areas. Product innovation is just one area. Right? The simplest product innovation for me, like in your field, maybe is a pill cutter, right? Little more advanced, maybe a pregnancy test. Then maybe a drug for a rarest of rare type of cancer. So these are different product innovations, simple or advanced. Ultimately, it is making something or somebody's life easier. That's your product innovation. We can also talk about service innovation, and that is something we experience at Health Mantra, my first startup. We at that time, renting the medical equipment was not very common. People used to sell, make early quick money. But see, when we looked at the patient profile, we saw that when people are already discharged from hospital, the bills are huge, right? Affordability to buy equipment is less. Also, some patients may not need that equipment for very long. So we introduce a rental business model. We have to invest upfront, right? And there is a little bit risk because your equipment is with client, but there are advantages, right? With rental, we are in touch with patient throughout, right? Those are our anchors at patient's home. So any other product services patients require, they are already in touch with us. Also, the revenue is regular. It's not, up and down. And with rental assets, within a year you recover the money, break even, and then there are profitability is great. So that was a service innovation, right? So which innovation types we heard so far? First one. I'm saying if the attention is there. Post lunch the attention would be even less, so pre-lunch is better. What was the first innovation area? Product. Somebody said. Product innovation. Second, service innovation. Let's go for a third one, process innovation. Okay. So, how many of you have had a family member admitted in hospital? Everyone? Okay. Were you involved in discharge process? Tell me just in terms of number of hours, how many hours it took from doctor said after discharge devu and you actually got out of hospital? Kiti tas? 4, 5, huh? 5 to 6 hours. Was that very enjoyable procedure? By the way? No? Okay. So a company innovated, right? I experienced it, right? Last time, all done, right? So I think, adopted a model of credit card companies. Credit card companies give you credit after your civil history. They trust that, you will pay money back. So what Altanis did, that you are insured patient, right? 99% your reimbursement is going to come. We are going to take that risk, right? We immediately will discharge you. Just write a simple paper that, once everything process is done, we will pay from our side. You give us the money within 7 days. So the discharge process made so smooth, right? Just a small little innovation there, right? So product, service, process, right? Let's talk about a tech innovation. Has anyone heard of a company called Practo? Right? What does Practo do?
Online consultancy with the doctors, and that is being done by the doctors.
Absolutely, right? So they have made scheduling doctors' appointments so easy, right? You can choose which specialty, which hospital, which area, and not only that, you also get to see the ratings, right? Before getting a doctor appointment. Now ratings have become very important. From Uber driver to a city's senior most doctor, everyone wants a good rating. So Practo has made that process simpler by tech innovation. Next, we talk about business model innovation. And again, that I experienced today itself, when I messaged Sonia. Sonia is my healthcare relationship manager at Narayana Health. And Sonia is a real person name. She's not an AI chatbot, right? So what Narayana Health has done is they have created a health subscription model. Okay, so just paying 2,000 to 3,000 rupees for an annual membership, they give free general practitioner visits for the entire year, unlimited number, not just for you, 8 members of the family. So husband, wife, 2 kids and parents on each side. And they give discounts on buying medicines, the diagnostic test, surgeries, as well as, even consultant visits. So, after paying membership, my money was recovered within 1 to 2 months. Okay. So think about it. Is that a loss-making proposition for hospital? Huh? Is it a profitable business model for Narayana Health? How can it be profitable?
Yes, because until and unless somebody is ill, then and then he used to visit the hospital. In this case, regular consultancy is being taken.
Great. Some preventive healthcare also people will go. And once I go to a general practitioner, if he suggests a specialist, most likely I'm going to go to that specialist, right? And then all my medicine purchase, all my tests are with that hospital. So with the volumes, the hospitals drive down the cost and increase the profit, right? So once again, what all areas of innovation we have seen, starting with product, service, process, tech, business model. Let's talk about next marketing innovation. Okay, a few months ago in the clubhouse of my apartment, I saw there was a stall and there was a fancy gadget, a machine, on which you stand, you hold the 2 rods, and that was your BMI testing. So what they are offering was free BMI testing, immediate report, and with the report, they say, okay, which area you have, muscle mass or fat, and what do we need to do, how the membership of the gym is going to help you. So it was ultimately selling gym membership, right? But if they had started with that, would people go there? No. So they invited people, the customer acquisition was with free BMI test, right? Marketing innovation. Let's talk about modular innovation, okay? So in that, you're just changing one part of the aspect, one part of the story. Talk about insulin pens, right? Earlier also insulin delivery happened, same drug, same body, but changed the delivery mechanism, right? And it made it so simple for patients. They can they can use the technology themselves, the adherence to medication improved, and everybody's life improved. right? Modular innovation. Let's talk about architectural innovation. Okay, so that's about structure. How many of you have experienced telemedicine? Has anybody taken an appointment for a family member? Second opinion. But you know that the technology is available, right? Where patient is local, the doctor can be global, anywhere from the world, and the technology is digital. Is getting all the people together. It has become so easy to get second opinion, third opinion if people want, right? So one last time, let's revise areas of innovation. We started with product, service, process, tech, business model, marketing, modular, architectural. You also remember in the right sequence, guys. Give yourself a big hand. Okay. One last, I'll also talk about social innovation. Okay. Has anyone heard of the hospital Arvind Eye Care in Madurai? Anybody heard? Okay, so they innovated a very interesting concept. They said, when patients walk in for an eye surgery, there are two options. You can opt whether I want to pay for this surgery or I want a free surgery. Okay, literally. And so people, when that, they both the patients, by the way, get the same doctor, same kind of quality care. Right? It is the premium patients paying for the delivery or the surgeries of the underprivileged, right? And most of the people like you and me, when they walk in, right, with the good service and reasonable price, it's not like unaffordable price also, we like to pay, right? And that the pool of money becomes excess money for other patients who want free or super subsidized services. So very interesting model, social innovation. So keep in mind, right, innovation is not just your molecular innovation. Innovation in healthcare can be how you change the way healthcare is delivered. Okay? Once again, since I come from Bangalore, let me get another example, right? What are the things that are required to bring innovation, right? Can anyone tell? In order for innovation to happen, what is the precursor? What must be there for you to innovate? Problem, right? Wonderful. There has to be a problem statement. Right? In Bangalore, people complain about. Anybody been to Bangalore? Nobody. Okay. Mumbai, everyone. So traffic Mumbai mein hai, but we have number one, right, in traffic. So people say, अरे traffic का इतना problem है, कहीं parking करने को जगह नहीं, right? जाए तो कहाँ जाए? So all these were the problems, and that's why so many companies, so many businesses, Blinkit, Zepto, Swiggy, Instamart, they have business because you don't want to get out of the house, drive, park. There are people delivering food, groceries, medicines to your home in 10 minutes, right? In fact, there is a joke. They say, techies in Bangalore drive 1.5 hours to go to office so they can write code for an app for 10-minute delivery, right? So problem is essential for you to innovate. One more thing is, I would say, the demand and supply gap, right? And I realized that, before my second startup, Make My Garden. For me, gardening was a passion. I was having a beautiful garden, and a gardener used to come every weekend to maintain. One day he said, "Sir, और कुछ काम है क्या? I need some. Can you refer me?" So I referred him to a neighbor in another apartment complex. She liked his services and she put in her WhatsApp group कि ऐसा gardener है, किसी को चाहिए तो ले लो. Right? And within a week he got 15-20 inquiries and 5-6 conversions. Okay, and that was the time I was just finishing my healthcare acquisition to Portia, and I was looking for something else to do. I said, there seems to be demand supply gap here also, right? In healthcare, it was totally unorganized business. Gardening was also unorganized business, and there was a gap in demand and supply. So within few days, I actually registered the makemygarden.co.in domain, right? Because there is a demand and supply gap. So opportunities can be, anywhere. And when you talk about, think about healthcare opportunities. Healthcare opportunities, or even for, in your own domain, right? Pharma. It's not just in, pharma industry, right? Or not just in technical. In healthcare businesses, people are required for, sales, marketing, processes, operations, AI, technology, right? So areas are vast, and you have to, define what you are interested in, right? What ticks you, what keeps you happy, what kind of life you want long term, right? And you can define your direction in healthcare. Now, if we talk about business uh, expansion, business growth within healthcare, I also want to give an example of ethical innovation from our first startup, Health Mantra. We were selling the home healthcare product to the patients at home, and the prescription would come from a doctor, right? So unfortunately, it was very predominant, and it still is, where some dealer would have a tie-up nexus with the doctor, right? Doctor will refer that dealer, and after selling that 50,000-60,000 equipment, the dealer will give a cut to the doctor. So that was the existing practice, right? And it was, I had just moved back from US, right? I was very strong on ethical principles. I used to fight with traffic police every week, not paying, whenever they said 100 rupees there, no fine, right? No slip. So I said, no, I'm going to, not do doctor cuts, no matter what. Every week somebody used to say, things don't work like this in India, Ashish, you have to do. So I said, no, we are not doing. So whenever it's not an easy path, whenever you choose a difficult but a good long-term path, there is an opportunity to innovate, right? So we had to be more creative. If we are not giving money to doctor, what can we give? So we actually, made, campaigns to increase the patient flow to the doctor's clinic. We also worked in a sleep apnea campaign, right? Diagnosing, treating sleep apnea, where you go to waiting area of patient's cabin, you do basic survey. If people, does anyone know about sleep apnea? No. So it's when during the night time, snoring is a symptom, and during night time your airway gets blocked through muscle mass, snoring, different reasons, and you don't breathe for several seconds, and then suddenly you wake up. So if that keeps happening throughout the night, you're not breathing, you're not taking enough oxygen in your blood, and it affects all systems of your body. So sleep apnea can affect So we identified many different doctor specialties might see the sleep apnea patients: diabetologist, cardiologist, ENT. So we had campaigns with them to drive more patients to their clinic, and out of those patients, if any have sleep apnea and they require treatment or diagnosis, they will refer those to us. So it's a value added to each other, no kickback, right? So that really helped us in growing ethical way. Then we also talk about trust, right? We started healthcare business in Bangalore, but soon we also had branches in Hyderabad, Chennai, Pune, Thrissur, right? 5 different states. And people used to ask me, so Ashish, you have offices in these different areas, and you have inventory. So do you have relatives, cousins, right, who are managing all those different places? I said, no, we hired people and they are managing it. Really? How do you trust them? He said, see, trust is a mutual thing, right? You have to build trust, right? You trust them, and they trust you. A lot of times, we think that most people are not trustworthy, but trust me, I think more than the people that you think, they are trustworthy. In US, when I was new, and we used to buy from Walmart. Walmart नाम तो सुना होगा, departmental stores, right? Huge, right? उनका स्कीम, अरे 30-day फ्री रिटर्न, नो क्वेश्चन आस्क। ये क्या है, मतलब कुछ भी लेके जाओ 30 डे में रिटर्न कर सकते हैं। एंड वी थॉट ये ऐसा वाला स्कीम तो इंडिया में कभी नहीं चलेगा, राइट? बट चल रहा है इंडिया में। हैज एनीवन बॉट प्रोडक्ट्स ऑन अमेजॉन, मिंत्रा, राइट? यस। हैज एनीवन रिटर्न प्रोडक्ट, राइट? It happened. Even I gave you example of the Arvind Eye Care, Madurai. When options are there, whether you want free surgery or paid surgery, can you give me a guess number? What percentage of people might choose free surgery? Any guesses?
70%.
Huh?
70%.
70? Any other? 80 you said? 90? 60? So interestingly, the number is 50-50. Okay, 50% of the patients do choose for the paid option, because people have heard the name and fame of the hospital, right? And there is a lot of goodness in people. Even there is a story, Dr. Abdul Kalam, ex-president, he had also tested the Arvind Eye Care model, right, by visiting there. So people are there. In other countries, we have heard this. In France, there is a cafe where they have a wall, and when you go for a coffee, you can say one coffee on the wall. Okay, which means you are paying for your own coffee and one extra coffee. That sticker goes on the wall. Then, if some homeless person or a poor person walks in, he can say one coffee. He can see the wall is clearly there. There are some stickers there. So he says one coffee from the wall. Okay, a very dignified way of asking, right? So people who are paying for extra coffee, they are happy because they are doing something good. People who are getting free coffee, they are happy. And the business, right? The cafe, their business and profit is increasing. They are happy, right? Think about it. It's a value, win-win for every part of the value chain, right? Business or profit does not mean, right, if you are winning, somebody has to lose. No, it can be win-win for everyone. And that's what innovation can do. So the model that can work for coffee in France, healthcare model in India has proven. And ultimately, the trust is something that will take you further. I used to remember a quote from Abraham Lincoln, ex-president. He said, "I would rather be cheated once in a while than not trusting anyone and live miserably." Right? Instead of not trusting anyone and living miserably, I choose to trust everyone. एक आध बार cheating हो गया, ठीक है. Let that not define your life. Right? So those are the aspects of the business growth. And as I said, in healthcare business, there are so many different aspects. It's when you talk about your skills for the healthcare business, fine, you have your technical skills, right? Your pharmaceutical skills and other skills, but there are other kind of skills that can be helpful when you go to healthcare businesses. It can be your sales marketing skills, it can be your technical skills, it can be your networking skills, right? Let me ask you, how many of you here like talking to people? Okay, fine. How many of you like problem solving? Okay, don't be shy. ये इतना हाथ मत दिखाओ, मुझे हाथ दिखाना पूरा दिखाओ, हाँ? How many of you problem solving, right? How many of you like leadership skills? Okay, right? So again, think of you. For you, right? The place may be on the business side of healthcare, not just a technical side. And then, how are we doing time-wise? Okay. Okay, I'll leave some time for questions also at the end. But let's talk about one last segment, right? Impact. Okay, impact for a business can be defined in different ways. Financial impact is one thing. What are the revenue, profits, or are you in news for raising funds? That's a kind of impact. But let's also talk about impact at a deeper level. Okay, impact for your clients or for your employees. I want to share one story from one of my early clients at Health Mantra. I got a call one day from a patient family member. He said, your employee, a biomedical engineer is sitting here. He has shown me the machine, right? And he's saying the price 66,000. But I just got another dealer who is offering the same machine, same model, same features for 60,000. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my God, that's a big difference. How we are going to win this customer? Do I need to give some discount? But to my pleasant surprise, the person from the other side, he said, Ashish, or he said, sir, I'm not calling you to bargain or negotiate. I'm calling you to tell you that we are paying 10% more to your company because we are impressed with the service your person is providing. He understood our requirement well, right? He explained how this machine is going to help. He explained me every single feature, technical, non-technical to me, as opposed to the other person, other dealer who was just showing on and off. Okay? So, they were very happy. Then there are other kind of stories we used to hear, and our biomedical engineers used to hear. We always train them to understand the problem first and then solve, right? I mean, if I give an example, let's say if you are running a pharma shop, right? And if a person is walking to the shop and he sneezes while walking, are you immediately just hand over a Synarus to him? Huh? No, right? Because what if that sneeze was just because of the dust he inhaled while coming? He was coming there to pick up some, antibiotics, right? Not really that. So you really need to understand the problem before you solve. So that's what we taught our biomedical engineers. You are going to, treating, you're selling machines to treat sleep apnea or COPD. Understand what is chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder first. Understand how that is affecting patients' health, or what anatomy is responsible for that, what anatomy or physiology is responsible, and then talk about how this device is going to help the patient, how it's going to internally treat, then talk about feature, benefit and all that, right? So when our engineers explain in that detail, some of the patients used to ask, are you a doctor? And for them it was a very, very proud moment. Somebody just asked me, are you a doctor? They used to say, even my doctor did not explain that much. Doctors don't have that much time. But the point is, here we saw, impact in two ways. Impact for the clients. For them, there was a reliable healthcare service provider, right? It's a life-saving machine, right? So if somebody sells and disappears, an expensive machine, that's not good. They want a reliable partner and also, trustworthy partners. We always taught, our engineers to put themselves in customer shoes. If you think this diagnosis of the patient requires the machine only for a few months, then rent an equipment, don't sell it, although you make lesser revenue. Right? So when we think what is right, what is good for customer, that trust they build is for long term, right? Then in future, for any problem, they used to call us, whether related to our products or not, because they know, we are trustworthy. They used to ask us, you tell who to go to, right? So that was an impact on clients to get a great health service provider. There was impact on employees, because, if they hear, right, are you a doctor? That's a huge compliment. And our biomedical engineers were very happy. They used to say, Ashish, most of the companies who came to our campus, they said biomedical don't apply. But your company was the only one that said only biomedical engineers to apply, right? Because we are a medical device company. I myself was a biomedical engineer. So they were happy. They were happy with the training they got. Many of those who went to multinational companies, they used to call and tell, even there, companies like Philips, we did not get that kind of training. So that was definitely an impact on our people. They stayed, they became loyal, they stayed, with us, and even when they went to other companies, they became the spokespersons of our company. And when there is impact on clients, impact on your people, automatically there is impact on your company, impact in terms of scaling, the growth, and how it made our company worthy of acquisition, right? At that point, there were hundreds of companies providing the kind of products and services that we deal with, right? But acquisition was uncommon. When Portia, India's largest home healthcare company, acquired us, they saw that it's not just ability to give kickbacks and sell to doctor, but there are biomedical engineers who have actually designed campaigns for different doctors. There are programs, right? There are relationships, and there are innovative ways we are selling. All that made us acquisition worthy. So to I think roll this more in terms of something that's very practical for you. It's your career option, right? What kind of career option? Now, how many of you think you can get into your dream job or dream career right out of college? Not anybody thinks, right? Right? It may be a difficult task, right? Some may be lucky and some you may, right? But most you may not, right? My first job out of my college, right, after doing biomedical engineering was in a biotech, right? Their company used to make devices for vaccinating chicken eggs, right? And we used to go to hatcheries, and my friends used to tease me. They used to say, people say don't count your eggs before they hatch, but this guy does it for living, right? But after my layoff from that company, I got laid off 3 times in life. Okay, but every time I got laid off, I think there was another, whenever a door closed, there was another window that opened, window of opportunity that opened. So, the first company that you join, or first thing, that may not be your dream one, but don't stop dreaming, right? Start, continue reading or researching or working towards your dream career, right? Keep meeting people. If you have some trade shows, some conferences in the field of interest, go attend. See what kind of people, what kind of companies are there. You would have people, your alumni, other people from your LinkedIn networks who are working the kind of roles that you aspire to. Talk to them. What got them there. Or if there are some interesting businesses, visit the businesses. And ask them what took them there. Your curiosity is very important for your learning and going towards that direction. I used to have a mentor in Texas. She was vice president of marketing. She said one thing that stuck to me for my life. She said, Ashish, if you want to get somewhere, if you want to grow, it's not necessary for you to know all the answers. But what is important is for you to know what are the right questions to ask. Okay? So if you keep asking, if you are curious, right, the path will be laid for you. And it's also, in my closing, I also want to share my real story. After my first job layoff, right, it took me 9 months to find another job. In that, I also took some classes in sales, marketing, right. I used to write a diary. I used to write one dream in that diary every day, right. Things like, one day I'm going to make a great career in medical equipment, or I will have my own sales and marketing business. I will do import, export. I will hire biomedical engineers. A lot of these things, okay, daily one thing, dream. That was in 2003. In 2011, which is 2 years after we started Health Mantra, my first startup, we just opened that diary and I read some of the pages publicly in our annual function, right? And to my surprise, right, more than 60% of the things that I had written had actually come true. Okay, that time I was not even in healthcare. My job was only biotech, right? But that is the power of dreaming. That is the power of writing down your dreams. You can manifest, right? And that manifestation will come true. I used to tell my friends and cousins in US that I'm going to go back to India one day, and they used to make fun. They used to say, "यार सब बोलते हैं, जाता कोई नहीं, चुपचाप बैठ," right? But that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted that pressure on me, right? You're challenging me, right? Come on, challenge accepted, right? And God's grace, right? The move back happened. So my message is, keep writing your goals. Start working for your goals and dreams, and announce those dreams publicly also. So that way, you will be designing your career, not just get drifted towards it. Right? So with that, let me take a pause. Thank you, guys. We are having a very attentive crowd, right? Keeping in mind, you still not eaten lunch. But let me, if there is time, I would be happy to take a few questions from you and address them.
You can ask about anything. This is not a general session about your theory lecture or any other subjects. This is beyond that. This is about your career and your choices.
Yes. You have question from the end? Yeah, please go ahead. Just tell your name and question. Do you need a mic? Is there another mic to go along with you?
Myself, Tej Padekar. And sir, I want to ask you how to validate an idea. I'll ask my question through example. When I was searching for internship in my B.Pharm, I find a gap where no one is replying on LinkedIn. Means I messaged many people, but they were not replying. So I thought, what happened what if I created one platform where the people get paid to give advice or to give guidance. Okay. And I was having conversation with my friend, and I shared my idea with him, and he told no, it will not work. So I said, okay, let's leave it. And after 2-3 weeks, I was watching one podcast of CEO of Bella Vita Perfumes, and he exactly applied same idea where he created one platform. And then I thought, shit, what if I work on that idea? So my question is that how I can know that if this idea will work or not, or if someone working on the same idea which I am thinking, and if I want to work on that idea, then how can I start actually working on that idea, and how to get some people who have same mindset? I know. I hope you understood my question.
Tejas, right? Tejas, yeah, wonderful question, right? Everyone understood the question, right? It's a two-part question. One part, right? When you have an idea, right? You have not worked on it, and later on you find somebody has. This morning only, when I and Swapnil were talking, he mentioned about NIDI, right? National Initiative for Design Innovation. That was an idea of Manmohan Singh government, right? But Modi government is actually the one that implemented that, right? So remember, we sometimes are crazy about idea, right? ये मेरा idea कोई चुरा लेगा तो क्या हो? Idea बहुत है. There are so many tens of thousands of patents that are in the library. Nobody has, worked on it. That are available for people to use. So don't be crazy about idea. The pudding is into execution. Who actually takes that idea and do something about it, right? So that's where the focus needs to be execution. And second part of question, Tejas, I'll say how to validate idea. Few things I would say, and as you said, I was going to tell you there are such paid programs. Few things I would say is talk to a lot of people, right? Now, when you are out there to innovate, you may not find somebody exactly in that position and ask all them. So in our gardening also, before starting gardening business, I talk to a lot of people. I talk to nurseries, small nurseries, large nurseries. What are their business model? I talk to homeowners who have beautiful gardens. What are the challenges they face in garden maintenance, right? So you might have to that's the beauty. Since if nobody has done before in your knowledge, then you need to talk to different stakeholders within the ecosystem and get those inputs and derive, your own. Then next step, right? If always try out that idea at a small scale. You might build some small prototype, small application, and try it on a sample set. And that sample set of customers can be your known people, friends, right? And let them give the validation, the input, the feedback to modify that. Right? But at that time, also keep in mind, is it just an interesting idea or people are willing to pay for it, right? And if they are, how much they are willing to pay for it, right? So, a lot of, marketing survey, your own survey, right? When you are small, go outside a mall with your survey, right? And, take feedback of those, right? So with that kind of iteration, you can work towards validation of your idea and take the next step. Thank you. Next question. Can I get question? One question from this side now. Yes. Only the last row students are asking questions. Huh? Last rows are reserved for most curious students, I guess.
Myself, Asmita Shinde. So I want to ask you that what are the unmet needs in this healthcare industry where a student like us work on solutions?
Asmita, that's $1 million question, right? What are the unmet needs in healthcare? Okay, let me open that question for this audience. Okay, let me hear from you guys. What do you think? What are, rather than unmet needs, let me pose the questions. What are the problems in current healthcare system? Just throw anything, any problem that you have seen, heard, aware of. Yes, guys? Okay, patient is not adhering to medication, whether it's TB or diabetes or whatever. Okay. What else? Any problems in current healthcare? If you're not telling problems, should we assume it's perfect? Okay. Yes.
Standardization of Ayurvedic medicine.
Standardization of Ayurvedic medicine. Okay. What else? Few things I told in my talk, right? The doctors kickback practice. That's a problem for me, and that's a problem for so many patients. If patients are getting stents when they really did not need, that's a huge problem, right? What else?
Right diagnosis for
R-
disease.
Right diagnosis, right? Sometimes patients go through several doctors and still, and by the way, sleep apnea was one of such things, right? A lot of different doctors thought different things, but nobody, advised, right? So each of this problem, right? Think of, is there a scope for technology or innovation? Some of the problem, right, the right diagnosis or standardization. Does AI have a role to play in that, right? Or a lot of innovation examples we saw, right? The process and business model, they were not even tech or AI based, but simple solutions to the problems. So if you go out to find needs in healthcare, there will be many. And think about it, some problem somebody has solved in US or in Madhya Pradesh, right? That may still be unmet need in Dhule or in Shirpur or wherever you are from, right? In your local area, that problem is still not solved. So that can be a problem that you are trying to solve the local. So also, if a problem is solved in one way, that may not be the only way. There could be other better, different, cheaper ways to solve that problem. For example, if I talk about my gardening business, Make My Garden, we were not the first nursery in Bangalore, right? There were so many small nurseries, so many large nurseries. There are some garden companies, but we understood in our talking to people that very few people put it all together, right? You go to some places to buy plants, then you order pots from Amazon, you order different ingredients, mix your own soil, then you get your apartment ka gardener to do it all together. So what about putting all this together? That was our solution, and that was unmet needs for a lot of Bangaloreans. Although there may be some players, but again the demand was too large for the supply was short, right? So when there is a gap between demand supply, when there are problems, there are immense ways to solve. So you will not be short of ideas of problem statements. The best is to fix. You don't have to wait until I get the perfect problem to solve, right? मतलब ये I think process marriage इतना difficult नहीं होना चाहिए कि I have to have that perfect partner उसके बाद, right? You find a good enough problem, right? You think you can solve it, you can make a business, take a leap of faith, right? And go for it. Does that help, Asmita? Thank you. Other questions?
You
Some
ask the
question from the
questions.
front side. Last question is it? Ah.
Just 2:16 झाले. तुमचं लंच टाइम सुरू होऊन 16 मिनिटावर झाले. मला त्याची आयडिया आहे आणि मी स्पेशली मराठीत बोलतोय खास यासाठीच की तुम्ही डू नॉट हेजिटेट टू स्पीक. अगोदर असं सांगितलं की तेही नाशिकचेच आहेत. ते मराठीतही तुमच्या सगळ्या क्वेश्चन्सचे आन्सर देऊ शकतात. जस्ट ओपन अप. दॅट इज द फर्स्ट स्टेज टू इनोव्हेट.
Absolutely.
टू डिस्कस. ॲज तेजस सेड की माझी आयडिया कोणी चोरली तर किंवा कोणाची आयडिया मी चोरतोय असं तर नाही होतं ना. असं येऊ शकतं. गुगल केल्यावर गुगल बाबा सगळं सांगतो की सगळं तुम्ही जे काही तुमच्या डोक्यात येते तर या लोकांनी या देशात या ठिकाणी करून झालंय. कोणतं रिसर्च पेपर केलाय, कोणी पेटंट केलंय, कोणी ऍटलीस्ट ती आयडिया टेस्ट केली, गॅजेट बनवलंय. समथिंग इज ऑलवेज देअर. बट सरांनी जे सांगितलं की तसं नसतं. तुम्ही एक चीपर वे, इझियर वे, इफेक्टिव्ह वे त्याला सॉल्व्ह करण्यासाठी बघू शकता. पण आजचं सेशन जे होतं सरांचं की तुमचं जे काही करिअर आहे, डिझायनिंग युअर करिअर इन हेल्थ केअर. यू आर ऑलरेडी स्टेपिंग टू दॅट हेल्थ केअर सेक्टर बाय चुझिंग युअर कोर्स. तुम्ही या इन्स्टिट्यूटमध्ये का आहात? बिकॉज यू हॅव चोजन दिस करिअर, राईट? पण ते इनोव्हेशनने तुम्ही कसं लेड करू शकता किंवा बिझनेस फिट मॉडेल तुम्ही काही आणू शकतात का? त्याचा इम्पॅक्ट कसा असेल तुमच्यावर, सोसायटीवर, फॅमिलीवर, फॉर एव्हरीवन. यासाठी सगळ्यांचं सेशन होतं. तर तुम्ही कोणताही क्वेश्चन तुम्हाला असेल तर तुम्ही तो विचारू शकता. एनी क्वेश्चन.
जस्ट टू ऍड टू दॅट मराठी, मी स्वतः 10वी पर्यंत मराठी मीडियम मध्ये शिकलेलो आहे सोलापूरमध्ये. आणि 11वी मध्ये कॉलेज सायन्स जेव्हा सगळं इंग्लिश बोलायला लागत होतं, इट वॉज व्हेरी स्केरी. पण मी डिसाईड केलं दॅट इररिस्पेक्टिव्ह ऑफ वॉट, कोणी हसेल नसेल, आय एम गोइंग टू रेज हँड्स अँड आस्क क्वेश्चन्स इन माय टुटी फुटी इंग्लिश, राईट? Because when you try in that platform, you are preparing yourself for the bigger crowd. तिथे कोण हसेल नाही हसेल त्याची काय काळजी करून ठेवा. ते लोक जे हसणार आहेत they will not matter in your life later. So don't worry. Sir, पुढचे क्वेश्चन मराठी येऊ शकतात आणि front benchers can also ask questions. So couple more questions, yes, before.
तुम्हाला वाटतं का ॲज अ एंटरप्रिनर म्हणून तुम्ही आहेत का? सर तेच विचारतायत की त्यांचं काहीतरी बेनिफिट व्हायला पाहिजे आणि जे आउटकम मिळाला पाहिजे. सरांनी आता त्यांचा एक्सपिरियन्स स्वतःच सांगितलं की ऑस्ट्रेलियामध्ये शिकलेले आहेत, नंतर भारतात आले, नंतर ले ऑफ झालेले आहेत. हे जनरली स्पीकर ओंट टेल सच अ ट्रूथ अँड ही शेअर्ड विथ यू जस्ट टू इंटरॅक्ट or whatever the things in your mind that should come from your mind to have the solution on that particular things. तुम्हाला वाटत नाही का असं काय एंटरप्रिनरशिप असं आत्ताच नाही लगेच उद्यापासून सुरू नाही करायचं? आज विचार केला तर सुरू होईल. आणि सरांनी जसं एक दॅट points which he had told very important. Whatever he has written, he has completed, and it has been said almost 57% goals which you are writing that will be completed. Job seekers बनण्यापेक्षा job creators जास्त डिमांड आहे किंवा that will be useful for the society also. आता क्वेश्चन असेल तर सरांचा नंबर घेऊन त्यांना नंतर विचार 1-to-1.
And as I requested, आता NIMS सोबत सेंटर ऑफ एक्सलन्स फॉर इनोव्हेशन अँड एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप साठी आता मी तिथं असणार आहे NIMS कॅम्पसमध्ये. तुम्ही माझ्याशी कनेक्टेड राहू शकता फॉर युअर इनोव्हेशन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप. जसं सरांनी सांगितलं की हार्ड अँड फास्ट नाही की आता उत्तर दिलं की सर मला स्टार्टअप करायचं आहे, मला एंटरप्रेन्योर बनायचं आहे, किंवा मला इनोव्हेटर बनायचं आहे, सायंटिस्ट बनायचं आहे, किंवा माझ्याकडे ही आयडिया नॉट निडेड राईट नाउ. बट तुमच्यापैकी मला एक रिप्रेझेंटेटिव्ह पाहिजे की जो कनेक्टेड असेल आणि त्याच्या थ्रू तुम्ही माझ्याशी कनेक्ट होऊ शकाल. आय विल बी देअर ऑलवेज ॲट NIMS. And to tell you, sir, I am also from life sciences. I have done my doctoral degree in biochemistry. आणि एक लास्ट एक्झाम्पल जसं ते तेजससाठी मला ते बोलायचं होतं की आपण आपले आयडिया डिस्कस न केल्याने काय होतं किंवा केल्याने काय होतं. तर एक कंपाऊंड मी सिंथेसाइज केलं होतं मायक्रोवेव्हने. आणि माझे जे CEO ऑफ SPP रिसर्च पार्क फाउंडेशन, जे काही आधी सायन्स फॅकल्टी डीन पण होते पुणे विद्यापीठाचे शाळेगावचं, त्यांच्याशी मी डिस्कस करत होतो. आणि मी नेहमी सांगतो की असं काही नाही माझ्या आयडिया कोणी चोरले तर बिंदास डिस्कस करा. मी आता पुढचे कोणते पेटंट करणार ते पण डिस्कस करेल तुमच्याशी, नॉट एन इश्यू विथ दॅट. पण मी कंपाऊंड सिंथेसाइज केले की जे एक्स्ट्रा ऍप सॉल्व्ह करू शकतो. मी त्यांच्याशी डिस्कस केले की सर मी टेस्ट कसं करू दे, मला प्रत्येक वेळेस ते एक्सरे मशीनला हे असं द्यावं लागेल आणि मला जे मी बॅच बनवतो ती काही मिलीग्रामचीच तयार होते. त्या मशीनमध्ये ते म्हणतात याचं काय करावं, आम्ही कसं काय डिटेक्ट करणार आहे, कसं टेस्ट करणार, आम्हाला भरपूर क्वांटिटी पाहिजे. त्याने म्हटले वाय डोंट यू टेस्ट फॉर द टूथ एक्सरे मशीन, दॅट इज स्मॉलर वन. दाताचा एक्सरे काढण्याचं मशीन काय नाही वापरत तू, हे माझ्या डोक्यात नाही आलं ना. पण मी त्यांच्याशी डिस्कस केलं, त्यांनी मला ती आयडिया दिली, माझं इनोव्हेशन टेस्ट झालं, त्याच्या पेटंटसाठी मी आता प्रोसीड झालो. पण हे केव्हा झालं, जेव्हा मी डिस्कस केलं. मी माझ्या मित्राला, मैत्रिणीला, सरांना, इन्स्टिट्यूटला यांना का सांगायचं. नेहमी आपल्याकडे असतं ना की त्यांनी माझं इनोव्हेशनची ओनरशिप घेतली, तर असं काही नाही. माझे पेटंट जे ते सावित्रीबाई फुले पुणे विद्यापीठासोबत आहेत, ते ऍप्लिकंट आहेत, मी इनोव्हेटर आहे. इट इज नॉट लाईक दॅट. तुमच्याकडेच राहते इनोव्हेशन नाही. बट ओपन अप, डिस्कस, थिंक, ब्रेनस्टॉर्म करायला अनेक ब्रेन पाहिजे ना एकत्र ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग साठी. सो ओपन अप व्हा. तुमच्यापैकी एक रिप्रेझेंटेटिव्ह जो असतो त्याचा कॉन्टॅक्ट मला शेअर करा आणि डेफिनेटली तुम्ही आशिष सरांशी त्याच्याच थ्रू कनेक्ट होऊ शकता. आशिष सर ही आणि आम्ही एक सोबत फॅमिलीमध्येच आहोत. तर डायरेक्टली आम्ही तुमच्या थ्रू म्हणजे असं बरेचसे इनोव्हेशन्सला आपण चॅनलाइज करू शकतो. आपला प्लॅटफॉर्म बीकन पण आपण लवकरच लॉन्च करणार आहोत. त्याच्या थ्रू आपण हे कनेक्टिव्हिटी डायरेक्टली विथ अवर एक्सपर्ट्स लाईक आशिष सर विल बी देअर. सो सर क्लोजिंग
वन थॉट टू युअर थॉट, राईट. इनफॅक्ट स्वप्नील सरांनी सांगितलंय तसं कोणाकडे एखादी आयडिया आहे इंटरेस्टिंग, राईट, ती तुम्हाला डिस्कस करायची की कॅन दॅट आयडिया बी अ बिझनेस व्हेंचर. ऑर तुम्हाला कोणाला असं खूप आहे की मला आय वॉन्ट टू डू समथिंग, राईट, बट आय एम नॉट एबल टू आयडिएट. माझी आयडिया फ्रेम होत नाही, पण मला खूप इंटरेस्ट आहे, मला काहीतरी करायचं. सो बोथ द केसेस, वन यू हॅव अन आयडिया, यू वॉन्ट टू डू समथिंग अबाउट, सेकंड खूप काही करायची इच्छा आहे पण आयडिया मला थोडीशी फ्रेम करूया. असे तुमच्यापैकी कोणी लोक आहेत का? कॅन यू रेज हँड्स? ग्रेट.
फ्रॉम बॅक साइड once again.
Again, one second. Right? So can I request, one of the students to take names and numbers of those people, right? To me now there. And bring in
Dr. Davoy sir.
Dr. So you take the name and you can give that to Swapnil, and Swapnil as part of Sobers, the idea and shape कसं द्यायचं काय द्यायचं, you can actually spend more time with those students and get them some shape here.
Sir is full time at NIMS Savalde campus and more of proud of things. He is alumni of R.C. Patel Arts Commerce Science College. Okay, so you take benefit of these things, all the things. आणि तुम्हाला असं वाटतं की याच्यात अजून आम्हाला काय गायडन्स पाहिजे ते सुद्धा तुम्ही सांगू शकता. असं काही नाही, म्हणजे कस्टमाइज नीड जे म्हणतो आपण की आपल्याला आपल्या स्ट्रेंथ काय आहे आणि त्याला कसं एक्सप्लोर करता येईल त्याचा सुद्धा तुम्ही डिस्कशन थ्रू विचार करू शकता. ओके, थँक्यू सर.
One thing I have inquired, that is one platform is there, Institute Innovation Council, and through that you can register your ideas. So Yukti repository is there, where you can deposit your ideas, and that will be continued for any type of competitions. So you can have an opportunity to get a part of the competitions. That is Startup India competitions and hackathons are there. All India level competitions are there. And you will get the prize money of 1 lakh rupees for that. And if your idea is shortlisted, you can get research funding also for that. It is up to 3 to 7 lakh research funding. So it can be applicable for your M.Pharm researchers, which you are going to do in second year. So that type of projects are also eligible for getting participation in the competitions.
म्हणजे त्यांचं प्रोजेक्ट असं कमर्शियली ऍप्लिकेशन मध्ये कन्वर्ट व्हायला
नाही सिंपल पण काही प्रोजेक्ट्स आहेत त्याच्यामध्ये की जसे काही हेअर ऑइल बनवलेले आहेत, कॉस्मेटिक प्रोडक्ट बनवलेले आहेत, हर्बल काही प्रोडक्ट बनवलेले आहेत, सस्टेनेबल डेव्हलपमेंटच्या याच्यामध्ये असे पण काही प्रोजेक्ट्स असतील तुमचे तर ते तुम्ही त्याच्यावरती टाकू शकता. तुम्ही मागच्या वर्षीच्या जर काही लिस्ट बघितल्या की कोणाला सँक्शन झालेले आहेत आणि त्यांचे टॉपिक काय होते, काही काही एकदम सिंपल टॉपिक्स वरती पण त्यांना फंडिंग मिळालेलं आहे. म्हणजे 3 ते 7 लाखापर्यंत त्यांचं फंडिंग अवेलेबल आहे त्याच्यामध्ये. पण ती आयडिया तुम्हाला डिपॉझिट करायला पाहिजे. आपल्याला जे वाटतं की माझी आयडिया कोणी घ्यायला नको तर ते तुमच्या नावाने ऑनलाईन प्लॅटफॉर्म वरती रजिस्टर राहील. हा, यू कॅन कॉन्टॅक्ट मी. माय नंबर इज 9226. You can write down.
Thank you so much, sir, for
9226 98 5524. And one more thing I want to discuss with you, that is we have started one platform, ebharat.com.info, and we are going to prepare one local directory of Shirpur. भरपूर मुलांना प्रॉब्लेम्स येतात की रूम शोधायचे तर प्रॉब्लेम येतो, मेस शोधताना प्रॉब्लेम येतो. हे सगळ्या प्रॉब्लेम्स थ्रू तुम्ही गेलेले आहात, पण आता तुमचा तो प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्व्ह झालेला आहे. तर आता मी शेअर केले M.Pharmच्या ग्रुपवरती. तर सेकंड इयरचे जे स्टुडंट्स आता रूम्स लेफ्ट करणार तर त्यांनी त्यांच्या घरमालकांना सांगू शकतात की तुम्ही या प्लॅटफॉर्मचा यूज करा, त्याच्यावरती तुमचे रूम्स रजिस्टर करू शकतात तुम्ही. आणि तुम्ही ज्या मेसला जातायत आता तर त्या मेस पण तुम्ही त्याच्यावरती रजिस्टर करू शकता. त्याचा काही चार्जेस नाही आहेत त्याच्यासाठी. तर तुम्ही सलूनमध्ये किंवा ब्युटी पार्लरला जातायत त्यांना सांगू शकता, जिथे जिथे तुम्ही ब्रेकफास्ट करतायत, हॉटेल्स व्हिजिट करतायत, त्यांना तुम्ही सांगू शकता की असा एक प्लॅटफॉर्म आहे, त्याच्यावरती तुमचा बिझनेस रजिस्टर करा. ऑनलाईन प्लॅटफॉर्म आहे, आमचे सगळे स्टुडंट्स यूज करतात आणि आपल्या कॉलेजचा प्लॅटफॉर्म आहे. ओके, थँक्यू.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Ashish Burada, sir, for such an inspiring and insightful session. Now I would like to invite Mr. Pradhat Tawade, sir, for the vote of thanks.
So, respected dignitaries, esteemed speaker, faculty members, and dear students, on behalf of Institute Innovation Council, H.R. Patel Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, I extend my heartfelt vote of thanks at the conclusion of this enriching seminar on designing your career in healthcare innovation, business fit, and impact. I express our sincere gratitude to our distinguished speaker, Mr. Ashish Putra sir, who is CEO, Atal Community Innovation Center, Sweri, Pandharpur, for sharing his valuable insights, practical experiences, and inspiring thoughts on healthcare innovation, entrepreneurship, and building impactful careers. Your guidance has truly motivated our students to think beyond conventional paths and explore innovative opportunities. I would also like to extend our thanks to Dr. Swapnil Mahajan, NMIMS Sobel Center for Excellence for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, Shirpur, for their collaboration support in organizing this seminar. My special thanks to our principal, Dr. S.B. Bari sir, our management, and all faculty members for their continuous encouragement and support in conducting such meaningful academic activities. I sincerely appreciate the efforts of the IIC team members, coordinators, and student volunteers whose dedication and their teamwork ensured the smooth execution of this program. Lastly, I would like to thank all the participants for their active involvement and enthusiastic participation, which made this seminar truly interactive and successful. Thank you once.